Red Dirt Roots is sponsored by ISO Brothers for all your equipment needs. Buck Certified XO Mix, the best deer attractant. G&H Decoys, American made, right here in Oklahoma. When we were young and growing up in the outdoors, we weren't dreaming about trophy racks and record books. Man, we were just dreaming about adventures.
I've got a ton of gravel in my shoes, world on my shoulders, a heart full of blues, and in the dirt, down in the dirt. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night, starting to calm down with the morning light. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt. Down in the dirt.
Well, 2019 here in Oklahoma has already been a banner year for big bucks, and our pro staffer Weston Brawley is going to show you the buck he harvested just last weekend right here in central Oklahoma, and he's going to show you some tips on how he hunts for big bucks.
Well, this is a Mahindra Roxor. .5 liter turbo diesel in it. 4-wheel drive. Timeless design and rugged durability.
Hey everyone! Tomorrow I'm going to go deer hunting. But first today, I'm going to go ahead and practice with the crossbow. Make sure I'm still dialed in. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the strategy I have for getting into my stand location tomorrow. My strategy is do exactly what I've been doing all year long. Because just as I have patterned to the deer, so have they patterned to me. So I'm just going to go in as if I'm going to pull SD cards or fill the feeder or what have you. And what I do is I ring a cowbell driving my bad boy buggy. Now, it doesn't have to be a cowbell. It can be a vehicle horn or just a loud vehicle. But for me, this is what works. But I'll go in there just in case they're already there and ring as I enter, and after they think I've left because they don't hear it anymore, they'll come back, generally within an hour or two. But the importance is that I don't startle the deer, because I'm not going to sneak up on them. Either they're there right now and they look up and they see me, and I don't want to induce any shock or trauma to them. I want them to feel like they've got that upper advantage, that they know whenever I'm approaching, because they hear me as an alarm way before. But so that's kind of my initial plan there, is just to go ahead and do what I've been doing. I'm going to go ahead and take a bag of XO mix, and I'm going to pour it on the ground to kind of entice them a little bit more. But I actually have a corn feeder up there that I mix in with a little bit of XO mix throughout the year, and occasionally dump a bag from time to time. But first I'm going to go ahead and practice with this crossbow, and we're going to go ahead and make sure it's dialed in, and we'll get out in the woods tomorrow. Stay tuned, you're watching Red Dirt Roots. This crossbow here I'll be hunting with tomorrow is a Horton RDX Storm crossbow. It shoots around 370 feet per second, and it's a pretty nice crossbow. It's pretty accurate. I'm just sighting in today and then going to head out in the woods tomorrow and go ahead and try to get a deer. I think that was a bullseye. The particular broadhead that I'll be using tomorrow is this one right here. It's a Dead Ringer Trauma broadhead, and it's over 3 inches in diameter. I mean, this thing is massive. Check this out. Look at that. So there's my hand. If I was to lay it across my hand, you can see how big this is. It's like putting your entire hand through a deer, I guess. And then here as a comparison, that's more your standard size broadhead. So you can see there's a huge difference here in size. So hopefully this will put one down. It's a mechanical broadhead. It's got a band here that holds it shut. On impact it'll hit here and open it up, but so I'm going to try this, see how it does. really getting concerned I hit him too high. I've never had a deer duck like that before. I found him, there he is.
Well, this is a Mahindra rock saw. .5-liter turbo diesel in it. 4-wheel drive. Timeless design and rugged durability.
As you know, November 1st, trout season really takes off in Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, we have 2 year-round trout fishing areas, the Lower Illinois and the Lower Mountain Fork. We have 6 additional ones opening up come November 1st to March 31st. These are seasonal areas. If you've never gone trout fishing, some of the things you need are, for the tackle, is a small rod and reel combo. Something you can use 6-pound test line on, a lighter action rod, so you can get a little more action out of the fish. You can use spinning like that. You can use the old spin cast rods with the light action. Just a regular closed face spinning reel, or the little ultralight like that. The primary baits most people use just for fun is the power baits and salmon eggs. These two baits right here, in general conditions, will catch just about any of the trout in most of the areas. The small salmon eggs or the trout bait. The tackle you'll need is some small hooks. Like, for example, the little salmon egg hook here. The salmon egg hook, first go to the salmon egg. You can also take the power bait, make a little dough ball, put it on the salmon egg, or the salmon hook. You can use small treble hooks, little small, tiny ones like size 18 through 20, 16, 18, 20. You want to fish those baits off the bottom. You can use natural baits. You can use night crawlers. You want a little trick on the night crawlers? Get you a worm blower. You can take one of these, it's got a little needle in it, it just puts a little puff of air in it, makes them float. Deadly trick for trout. If you want to go artificial, there's artificial, like the Super Duper. That's currently the state record was called it a Super Duper. It's just a bent little piece of metal with a treble hook on the back. You just throw it out and reel it back. It just has that kind of a crazy flashing movement to the water. It works great. Another good bait is the rooster tail. Little inline spinners. Just small action. You know, they come in multiple colors. Come in all different sizes. Try to stay with your smaller sizes. Just remember, the smaller you can cast, the more chance you got of catching fish. One thing you want to make sure of though when you go is that every angler has their own stringer. There's a new regulation that started last year that says on trout fishing, each angler must have their own stringer with their name and their license number attached to the stringer. So get you a little stringer, make you a tag for it with your name and your license number, so that you can keep your limit separate.
This is a really mature buck. I'm gonna take him if he comes in range. I need him to stand broadside. Oh no, I hope he comes back. No way, I've never seen this buck before.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon. 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 When it rains, it pours. Water's up to my chin. Won't stop fighting to the very end. Many men tried to reach it. Many men have failed. Well, if you wanna get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. And I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They say no to sleepless night. Will you find me? Hope you find me. I'll be back home soon. When the sun rises, when the sun We're trying to catch me howling at the moon. Trying to catch me howling at the moon. We're trying to catch me howling at the moon. Trying to catch me. Trying to catch me. We're trying to catch me howling at the moon. Trying to catch me. Trying to catch me howling at the moon.
I hear him. He's going down. He's going down. Oh my gosh. I just got the biggest buck I've ever got in my life.
found him? Oh, there he is. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Oh, what a great looking deer. Oh. Oh, that is so cool. Look at that. Well, that is neat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points. That is so cool. When this buck stepped out, I've never even seen this buck before. He was chasing some does. It's the middle of the rut right now. They're in the chasing phase, chasing does around, and that's how I like to hunt the rut. It's just right over the exo mix. Those does, they came in for the exo, and sure enough, a brand new buck, never seen before, came following them in, and he chased the does off the exo mix, and they both went running off, and then the does came back right on the exo, and then he was coming back for a second time, and I knew he was going to stop at the exo mix eventually. I knew it. And he came out, pushed the does off of the exo, but then stayed on the exo mix, started eating it, and that's when I knew I just needed to take my shot, and I wasn't going to pass up a good looking deer like this. I mean, it's awesome. It's so cool. Wow, I love that right there. That is so neat. I've never seen that.
Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Well, this is a Mahindra rock sore. .5 liter turbo diesel in it. 4-wheel drive. Timeless design and rugged durability.
Hey, this is Weston with Buck Certified, and I know what you're thinking, because I'm thinking the same thing. Same thing us hunters and bucks alike have been thinking for weeks now, the rut. There are so many different methods for hunting the rut, different strategies, and it can be overwhelming and sometimes just confusing. Do I set up a new stand location deep within the woods in a sanctuary area that I've been leaving for the deer all year long? Or do I use a doe decoy or maybe even a buck decoy? Do I drag a deer scent behind my boot and walk along a deer trail and then set up hoping for that perfect broadside shot? Which deer urine do I even use? Do I use the doe estrus or the dominant buck or even both? Or do I call in the deer using a grunt or a rattle? We as hunters ask the same thing to ourselves every single year. What should I do? I think the first thing we need to remember is that you have spent a lot of time so far this season patterning your deer. And remember that whenever you've patterned your deer, the deer have also patterned to you. And whenever you make a change out in the woods, that's either going to cause a negative or a positive effect on them. And chances are, the more aggressive you get out in the woods, it's going to cause a negative effect on them. Just because the bucks are in full-blown rut and are acting a little carefree does not mean the does are. And remember, wherever the does go, the bucks will follow. If I change my hunting strategy from setting up over my feeding location, watching the does come in and out, to setting up into the interior of my property, between the trails going from my feeding location to the bedding, I could be setting myself up for failure the rest of the season if that plan doesn't pan out. If you spook your does, your bucks are going to follow them. Leave the spooking to your neighbors. It's important to maintain that sanctuary on your property for those deer, so if the rut does not pan out for you, you can always hunt late season. Now, if you've had success in the past hunting in the interior of your property between bedding and your feeding site, then you should continue doing that. But it doesn't mean that it'll work for everybody. And we can't just plan for the rut. We got to plan ahead. We got to think about late season just as we're thinking about the rut. Because everything that we're doing now will affect late season. This is a very important time.
It's the red dirt roots in me. I'm as backwoods as I can be. I say yes, sir.
Red Dirt Roots is sponsored by Heisel Brothers for all your equipment needs. Buck Certified XO Mix, the best deer attractor. GNH Decoys, American made, right here in Oklahoma.